Welcome to another grand episode of Tyron Paulson Drives, where I also show you the grand views of Table Mountain. And today we're going to show you a car that is so grand that it spawned 5 different generations since it was introduced in 1988. It was also so grand that it was even rebadged and resold by 2 other brands, an American and a Japanese brand. I hope that intro was grand.
This is the 5th generation Suzuki Grand Vitara. At first, it was just a Vitara, then became a Grand Vitara for 2 generations, then just a Vitara, and now it's grand again.
What makes it grand, in my opinion, is the price. You see, as a subcompact SUV, you can have it for under 360,000 Rand. Plus, it's sold with a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty and a 4-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan, which, in my opinion, is definitely a good value for money proposition. Now, if this car looks very familiar to you, well, you definitely are right, because you've seen the Grand Vitara on our road for just under a year, but not just as the Grand Vitara, but also as another Japanese brand, which we won't be mentioning. So what do you get, you may be asking? Well, let's do that whole voice-over thing that you do in car reviews. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, take it away.
The Grand Vitara is a 5-seater subcompact size SUV, which is just over 4 meters long, under 1.8 meters wide, and has a ground clearance of 210 millimeters. You can get it in 3 trim levels: the GL, GLX, and the GLX Hybrid all-grip version. All of them sports a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine, producing 77 kilowatts and 138 newton meters of torque. The GLX Hybrid makes use of the same engine setup, but includes a 12-volt hybrid motor that helps with fuel efficiency and a 6-speed auto transmission. The car we have on test is the entry-level GL in manual. You can also get this car with a 4-speed auto setup as well as in the GLX, which also features a manual.
And now that annoying voice is out of the way, yeah, in essence, this is more of a soft roader compared to a lot of the Vitaras of old, but that's what SUVs have become nowadays. More soft roaders, aka city cars we drive in and around on our daily trips to work, home, the shops, school runs, and possibly an occasional weekend away. And in that aspect, it ticks all the things that you need in a modern day car. It's got LED DRLs, automatic lights, electric windows, a rear camera, rear parking sensors. It's got 17-inch alloys, keyless entry, push button start. It's got central locking, folding mirrors, air conditioning, and a lot of other stuff, but I don't have enough breath to kind of go with it. But it's got everything that you need in a modern day car, including good looks and also styling. And talking about styling, I like this new grille design that Suzuki's got going. You even see it inside of the Franks, and it gives the car a bit more presence on the road. On the inside, the Grand Vitara is better than its previous generation. Now, it doesn't have plush leather, soft touch materials everywhere, but it still keeps it very simple and very comfortable in here. It comes with a 7-inch infotainment display, which does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is wireless, by the way. In the GLX, you get a 9-inch screen with a rear view camera, a 360-degree rear view camera, by the way, and also wireless charging. The steering wheel has both got reach and rake facility, so you can drop it up and down and get your seating position a lot easier, and it has physical buttons for things like volume, your phone usage, and also cruise control. The driver display is still analog, but it's got that modern kind of feel with a LED screen in the front, but also retro styling with some chrome bits and these stalk buttons that you press to, like in old cars, man, to change things. It just looks very, very cool. The seats are cloth seats, which is not a bad thing at all, because most people who end up buying these cars will have kids in it, and if you get it scotch guarded, you know how messy kids are. Yeah, this is great. The seats, you can, by the way, you can slide forward and backwards, and you can adjust it up or down as well. There are 2 cup holders here in the front, as well as 1 USB point and also a 12-volt 120-watt power socket. I also like the fact that, the seat belts that you got in here, you're able to adjust the level up and down. So if you're short, you can adjust it lower, or if you're tall, higher, which a lot of other expensive cars don't even feature. In the rear, you can seat 2 adults comfortably. Adding a third will be a bit of a tighter squeeze, but it could work for, well, shorter kind of journeys. There are 3 seat belts in here, as well as 2 sets of ISOFIX points if you need to put car seats in here. There are cup holders inside of the center armrest, as well as 2 bottle holders in the door as well. There is decent enough leg room because you can put your feet underneath the seat even when the seat is at its lowest position, which means you can stretch out nice enough. There's also seat pockets in the rear where the kids can store all kinds of weird stuff. Air vents. Unfortunately, in the GL version, there's no USB ports here at the back. The GLX does offer it though, so that might kind of upset the little ones of your family. How they go, "Dad, now who's gonna charge that? Can I get the cable?"
The boot space is not huge, but it's okay at 310 litres, with it growing to 1,462 litres when the seats are down. What it means is that you can fit a large pram in here, or maybe 2 large suitcases, so clever packing and planning might be needed.
Getting behind the wheel of the Suzuki Grand Vitara GL, it doesn't give you a jump out of your seat kind of wow experience, but it gives you more of that, familiar, comfortable, and dare I even say easy driving kind of feel. The gearbox in this GL manual version is really smooth and kind of gives you that old school kind of feel when shifting into gear, but still very cool. The engine is a bit high revvy at times though, and it's not really punchy, but it gives you enough grunt to be able to take you up Tygerberg Hill in Cape Town without needing to change gear. On the highway, it doesn't lack for anything. It gets you up to the legal speed limit and also the illegal kind, but we didn't do that. We will never do that. But just like the Francs, I will say this again, that, well, if you're going to be overtaking, you need to plan that really, really carefully, especially when you are loaded with, well, passengers and even a lot of luggage inside of the car. In the suburbs and driving in traffic, like I find myself kind of right now, it's quite an easy car to live with, because you can easily get around tight little corners and move into different lanes, even pull into parking spots. And with hill assist, it makes taking off on an incline quite a pleasurable experience without rolling back. The manual version of the car is definitely the version that I would get, as the 4-speed auto somehow just feels, at times that you need a little bit more, even though it doesn't, it just feels like it. And then the high profile tires, it makes very minimal road noise, and it's even better, especially with the additional ground clearance you get when you get onto gravel roads. It works really, really well. The same complaint that I had with the Francs I have with this car as well, which is in the manual, I think it needs an extra gear from 5 to 6. And then there's that you have to manually lock the doors whenever you drive off. It would have been great if it had an auto lock feature, but after driving this car for as long as I did, you get so used to it that, yeah, you just let it go. I honestly do not have any real complaints with this car, especially at this price point. I mean, if you think that its German and Korean rivals are at least about 50,000 Rand more than what it is, and it gives you similar specs to it. So this is a really well-appointed subcompact SUV, and talking about specs, I don't think you'll feel shortchanged if you should choose the GL version over the GLX, because all that extra features, even though they are really great, for us average motorists, I don't think we'll be lacking anything when it comes to that though. Even though the Suzuki Grand Vitara is not as grand as what its name claims to be compared to a lot of its rivals that are out there, and there's quite a lot of them out there, it's still very, very grand in aspects of value for money, comfortability and practicality as well, and would definitely be a welcomed addition to anyone who is looking for a very decent all-rounder family compact SUV. And on that grand note, thanks for watching.